So the subject today is changing the fluids on my 2019 Lexus GX460. Just a little background. I purchased the vehicle with 63,000 miles on it. It now has 83,000 miles on it. And I got a Carfax, one owner, service at the dealer before I got it. And I'll just show what has been done to it. So essentially the only fluids that were done in 60,000 miles at the dealer on this were the oil, it's like every 5,000 miles. The manual, service manual, 2019 GX service manual, only calls for oil change every 10,000 miles. But it looks like they were doing it every 5,000 miles in most cases. Looks like twice they didn't. They went 10,000 miles. And then they did the brake fluid at 30,000 miles, twice. 30 and 60,000 miles. None of the other fluids were changed. There's 5 fluids. There's automatic transmission fluid. There's front differential fluid, oil, rear differential oil, transfer case oil, and the coolant, antifreeze and coolant. So I'm just gonna run down what I've ascertained from, what should be done on this vehicle from my service manual for the 2019 GX460. So the vehicle's 83,000 miles on it. I'm gonna change all 5 of these. And I'll do probably a video for the differential, one for the transfer case, one for the antifreeze, and one for the transmission fluid. But just a summary, trying to understand the cost and service intervals and what exact oil should be used. I just did a little spreadsheet. So the first topic, the automatic transmission fluid. The manual says basically never replace it under normal circumstances. I've towed with this vehicle. I put a hitch on it and transmission cooler. I've towed so I put 20,000 miles on it, and I've towed probably 2,000 miles since I've owned it. And so I'm doing normal. So I've got a replacement under normal conditions, what the manual says, and then what it says if you're towing. So I'm gonna operate as if I'm a frequent tower, but I got rid of my cargo trailer. I don't have anything to tow anymore, which is good. So back to each fluid. Transmission fluid, basically under normal conditions, it says you never have to replace it. Under towing, it says 120,000 miles transmission fluid. I'm going to change mine at the 83,000. So it takes the whole transmission and torque converter holds 11.6 quarts. When you drain it, you only get about 30% of the oil out, 3.5 quarts. So when you see these videos, people changing oil, transmission fluid, they're not changing it, they're just introducing some new oil. And to do this, all the videos I've seen, they just drain 3.5 quarts out and put 3.5 quarts back in. I'm going to drain like I do. I've got a Honda Odyssey, and the schedule on that is when you do the transmission every 30,000 miles, you do it 3 times. And the same thing with the Honda Odyssey, I get 3.5 quarts out, and you're supposed to do it, put 3.5 in, drain it 3.5 in, run the vehicle, drain it again, put 3.5 in, drain it again. It's 3 times. I only do it 2 times, but I'm going to do it 2 times. I'm going to put 3.5 quarts in, run it for about 100 miles, drive it for a week, and then come back in and put another 3.5 quarts in. Cost, this is the Toyota automatic transmission fluid, $15 a piece. So I'm going to use 7 quarts, so that's going to be $105. Down to the differential fluid, again, I'm going on 30,000 miles based on towing. I've already got 80,000 miles on it. It's never been changed. And then it says 15,000 miles after that. So if you're towing, you do it every first time 30,000 miles, and then every 15,000 miles after that. I'm not going to be towing anymore. And if normal conditions says you never change it. There's no instruction to change it. And I don't know if the dealers change it, but this Lexus dealer went 60,000 miles and didn't touch that oil. So I'm going to change that. It's about a quart and a half comes out. I'm buying 2 quarts, $58 a piece, and I'm using that's the $58 a piece is the Toyota front differential gear oil. LT, it's a GL5 75W85. I've got some Honda gear oil, 7585 GL5. This is also GL5 that I have access to. It would be $23 if I bought it, but I'm going to use this Honda gear oil. And if I would buy it, it'd be $46. What I'm going to use, and the Toyota oil, 2 quarts would be $116. Then down to the rear differential, holds 2.85 quarts. Same thing here. Differential transfer cases are the same. No requirement to change it if you're under normal conditions. Change it every first 30, and then every 15 after that, the 2 differentials. So we'll need 3 quarts. If I buy it from Toyota, it's $58 a piece, $174. And I'm using the Honda for $69, $23 a piece, 3 of them, $69. Down to the transfer case oil. Towing every 30,000 miles. Transfer case on the Toyota is LF75W, which is, they call this the liquid gold fluid, $130 a quart. If I were to buy it from Toyota, which I'm not, would be $260 for 2 quarts of transfer case oil. I'm using Ravenol. A lot of people online, this Ravenol is equivalent to this 75W, and it's $37 a piece. So I'm going to pay $74 instead of $260. This is just stupid. $130 for a quart of oil. And then the last thing is a coolant. This is another interesting one where it holds 14.5 quarts. If you drain it, you get about 7 quarts out between the radiator, 3.5 quarts, and then another 3.5, maybe 4, I'm expecting out of the engine block. So, and you're only changing 48% of the coolant. So I'm going to change mine. Right now, this is normal. Under normal conditions, it says 100,000 miles, and then every 50,000 miles after that. Towing, there is no special requirements for towing. So I'm buying the Toyota coolant at $35 a gallon. I'm going to need 2 gallons. That's $70. And that's the summary of what I'm doing and the logic for doing it. So if I would use all Toyota products, fluids, just my oils alone would be $725. I'm going to substitute the differential oil with this Honda Hypoid gear oil. In the manual, the Lexus manual says that, or use this stuff or equivalent. So instead of $58, I'm $23. And just because I have access to it, it's really not costing me anything. But if I were to buy it. And this Ravenol is $37 versus the $130. So total $725. I'm actually it's going to cost me $364 for the oils I'm buying for a savings of $361 by substituting the differential oil front and rear, and then the transfer case oil with a substitute oil. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's my plan for this GX460. I happen to have a car lift, so it's going to make it easier. That's the only reason I'm filming it, because it'll be easier for me, and it'd be easy for me to provide, you know, some instructions and any unusual things I run into. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube, but I have the time, and I'll have the car in a lift, so it will be easy for me to film, and any unusual things or, you know, procedures I run into, I'll show that. But yeah, that's my plan. I'll post videos as I go. I'm not going to put, you know, an hour-and-a-half video out there doing all this, so I'll just do it in chunks as I go along. But I just wanted to do this background. I also did a video on the oil change on this vehicle, and I'll link that in this video, because it shows taking the skid plates off the bottom. And I'm not going to show, when I do these other fluids, I'm not going to show taking the skid plates off because I have it in another video. So I'll link the oil change video here. But this will be the 5 fluids and my experience doing it. So more to follow.